Australia giving out, and now they're even wearing it at the non-striker's end, as Marcus Stoinis will be left with a bruise. And will close out the 8th over, 138 for 3. Preston, this doesn't really explain how good a team Scotland are, and it's not to say that we won't have very competitive games on Friday and Saturday, but this has been so one-sided here.
Yeah, certainly from the end of Scotland's batting power play, it's been all Australia. To say they've played smart, intelligent cricket, and then the way they've approached this innings here with the bat, it's been exemplary. It's been calculated, low-risk shots if you analyse the way they batted. But it's been all class, has to be said. Certainly, Scotland will be disappointed, though.
In every graph we show you and bring you, it just points out the differential between the sides. It was just nothing really of any note, was there, outside of the power play for those purple towers. Do have a break in play here because Stoinis has been actually struck on the hand, I think. I thought at first it might have got him on the shoulder, but what he's done is he's stuck his hand up to try and kind of protect himself. He's ended up maybe wearing it on the smallest digit, the little finger. Has there been a little bit potentially, Preston, of the occasion getting the best of Scotland? They're well versed to going to world events, but it's been a while since they've had something as big as this, the world champions coming to town here in Edinburgh.
I'm not sure that's the case. I think the reality is here they're playing against some of the best players in the world, Travis Head being one of them, and he certainly wasn't messing about the way he's approached his innings today, and he's obviously in great touch already coming into this fixture. So it's back to the drawing board for Scotland in terms of their plans, because clearly their bowling plans were not effective through that power play, and they'll need to readdress that come Friday and Saturday, and how they look to stem the flow of runs, because that's the worrying thing here, is how easy Head and Marsh made it look through that period of 5 overs.
It was a blitzkrieg unlike anything I've ever seen, whether live with my own eyes or broadcast around the world as we're bringing you these pictures here. It was nothing short of outrageous ball striking at points. It was almost as if they could hit it to any part of the ground. Mark Watt's going to continue into his second. Stoinis is fit to stay out there. It just looks like Scotland didn't have an answer. He's in brilliant form in Major League Cricket. The tournament winners there, the Washington Freedom, I think he got about 350 runs, something like that. But he's almost changing the game, isn't he, at the top in that power play. The most incredible thing about it is it doesn't look like it's slogging at any point. They're quite conventional cricket strokes. They're quite correct cricket strokes, albeit sometimes through the air.
Yeah, sometimes through the air, but a lot of time through the field and on the ground. And that's what's been so noticeable here. Such low-risk cricket, just genuinely good cricket strokes. But the timing and the power he manages to generate through those quick hands and the way he hits it through the line, really impressive stuff. Just going back to Scotland and what they can do differently perhaps next time.
Well, something's got to give here, because again, for me, Stoinis was ready. And there's boos ringing out around the crowd, and I can understand why.
Yeah, and you wonder if this is perhaps something Australia have spoken about as a team. They know Mark Watt is going to do this 23-24 delivery.
But again, for me, Stoinis has fronted up to face the delivery. That should have been a dot ball. I don't understand why it's being given as a dead ball. If the batter's pulled out before the delivery is bowled, absolutely he's entitled to do that. Why it's being given as a dead ball? He's in a ready position to face the batter's pulled out before the delivery is bowled. Absolutely he's entitled to do that. Why it's being given as a dead ball? He's in a ready position to face the batter's pulled out before the delivery is bowled. Absolutely he's entitled. Quite often, little instances like this end up actually actually resulting in law changes. I wonder, is it going to be something the MCC are going to have a look at, and maybe the umpires need to be a bit more fastidious with their left arm being out in terms of indicating the batter is not ready yet?
And just the context of the game where we're positioned at the moment, you can imagine if this was slightly different circumstances and slightly tighter, what impact that might have.
And maybe that's why Watt isn't sort of remonstrating with the umpire. He knows the game is gone. It's a stroke that will haunt Scottish fans that he played so well in St. Lucia. 9 have been bowled, 141 for 3. So the Stephen Finn law, if you will, be brought in as the attempted reverse sweep. That was for when he was constantly knocking the bail off at the non-strikers, and that's now a no ball. Do you think we might see something from the MCC?
Certainly would be interesting. It would be a shame for Mark Watt, because it's a tactic and strategy he's implemented so well, and it's become a really useful variation for him in certainly in the T20 format.
The law change could be brought in his favour, though. It could say, and make it maybe a bit clearer for the umpires, that no, if the batter is, if your left arm is down, i.e. you think the batter is ready, the batter then must place the ball or play the ball. Really interesting, two fascinating moments in the course of a bigger picture. Jack Jarvis back into the attack, and he's clipped away for 4 more. Inglis making use of that bit of fortune, that life that he had, and it's 4 more.
Well, it's been a tough day for Jack Jarvis. 30 from his first, and his first ball of his second. It's worked away for 4. It's a lovely improvised shot there. The use of the feet, getting outside that off stump and creating that angle to open up that short fine leg region.
Driven really pleasingly. Seen some very conventional cricket strokes amidst the chaos, and that is the perfect extra cover drive.
Yeah, that sums up Australia's day nicely, the way they've batted. As you say, it's a classic off drive in the slot, must be said, but he's put it away beautifully.
Just 6 to win now. One blow could end it for Australia. Preston, you know the squad incredibly well. You've played with almost every one of them. You'll have captained plenty of them through your international career. There's plenty of resilience in that group. They will be able to bounce back, but when you're on the back end of a hammering like this, it can't be easy.
It won't be easy, but I think the positive thing for them is they got Friday and Saturday to really come back and prove themselves. Usually when you've got touring teams like Australia or England, it's usually just a one-off.
And that is going to be that. Australia, they have soared to victory in the most impressive of fashions. A terrific Travis Head masterclass, one of the best innings you will ever see in T20I cricket. He threatened maybe to be the fastest 100 of all time, a world record power play, the highest ever made in 6 overs by any team in an international, and some finishing touches applied by Marsh, and then Inglis, and a maximum from Marcus Stoinis guides the visitors home. There's no winter in Australia. They are fit and firing and ready to go. They have blitzed Scotland away and gone 1-0 up in the series to take the win by 7 wickets.
Oh, it's been an intelligent, smart, professional display from Australia right from ball 1. Given Scotland nothing to work with. Scotland, well, they'll be disappointed, and it's back to the drawing board for them. They'll have to reassess their plans, certainly with the ball. With the bat, they showed promise. They threatened a large first innings score, couldn't quite get there. In the end, probably themselves admittedly falling 40, 50 runs short of a score they would have been happy with.
Well, even if they did have that 200 on the board, you suspect that it just wouldn't have been enough with the form that these Australian batters have shown early. We did feel that the wicket would get better and better, and indeed, well, we could be in for 2 real treats on Friday and Saturday. if the weather holds and the sun continues, because as so often it is here at the Grange Club, it's a batter's paradise for Scotland. The real disappointment, maybe even whisper it, just a hint of embarrassment, Preston, because so often they're incredibly competitive, and today they were anything but. That is as one-sided a contest probably I've ever seen Scotland play.
I think at the end of the day, T20 cricket, games can get away from you. Individual performances can really make it difficult, as Travis Head proved today on his own.
Don't forget Mitchell Marsh's role too. He struck it over 300 with 39 off 12 deliveries, hit 8 boundaries in those 12, and fittingly it was ended with a maximum from Marcus Stoinis, who's showing not too many ill effects from that blow to the hand. And the capacity crowd that came in, they've been treated well to an absolute extravaganza really, Preston. An exhibition of high quality batting. Australia proving, as we thought they would be, big favourites. Those dreams of a first ever win for Scotland over Australia, they'll have to wait for another day. But as you rightly say, there's 2 more chances for them. There's the batting card. Head the star of the show, but Marsh also striking over 300, Joss English over 200, and really for everyone but Jake Fraser-McGurk, it was the perfect start to the tour. What about the bowlers, Preston? Not a huge amount to cheer here, barring probably Mark Watt's 2 wickets.
Scotland bowlers would probably want to look away at the sight of that. It was a late introduction of Mark Watt. You wonder whether he could have been brought in slightly earlier in proceedings. That's something they'll go away and think about, but not a day for Scotland bowlers, unfortunately. None of them really threatening through that innings.
Incredible figures for Jarvis in particular, 1 for 45 from just 10 deliveries. That's going at over 4 a ball. He'll have better days ahead. He's still very young in his career, and Scotland will get that big boost of Michael Jones and indeed Brad Curry coming back into the team. You'd imagine they'll be straight into the 11, but that's the tail of the tape. Australia winning by 7 wickets without really having to break a sweat in the second innings. Travis Head, the star of the show. Have you seen a better quality of ball striking with your own 2 eyes, Preston?
No, that was something beautiful to watch.
Okay, well that's going to wrap it up for the on-field action. We're going to be back with plenty of analysis and indeed the post-match presentation. We'll find out who the player of the match is with Mel Farrell as the signatures and selfies are being taken by the visiting fans here. Don't go anywhere too far. Back in just 2 or 3 minutes time.